Hello everyone. This is my surprise video. This is something I worked on today and I had so much fun. As you all know, I have tried so hard and wanted so much to learn how to do my distressed inks by coloring with them, and this whole page is distressed inks. Let me raise you up just a little bit more. Okay, it just turned out beautiful. This is Victorian Rose, Honey. It just turned out so pretty. I added just a little bit of pink into the leaves. I just used the green in there, and I just thought it turned out so pretty. It would be pretty enough. I personally would frame it. I just love it. Well, before I even started this, I did this fish. And I started out with my Dewent Inktense pencils. And I used my actually, I quit trying to use a water brush. I used, there's one more little brush here. I probably put it back in here. It's the other end of one of my little dotting tools. Okay, it has a nice little brush on it. So I used these two to do most of my painting. And then I thought, hey, wait a minute. I got out my good watercolor brushes that I have a whole jar of. I have tons of brushes. And this is by Billy Showall. She does extremely beautiful flowers, and she does botanicals. So there's no background to hers. It's just whatever it is. And I've done some of those. And actually, it's a step-by-step. I love doing and learning. So I got these out afterwards. And I was working on, let's see, on these. And just painting with my watercolor brush. All of this is done in watercolor brush, in watercolors. I used, this is my little palette. It's General Crafts. I think that I looked it up, and I think it's $26 with everything. And these are a metallic watercolor. And this is the result of what I got from these. I always leave them open at least overnight until they dry up so they don't get moldy. And on the other side, the horse, I gotten these. Whoops, it doesn't say. But I got them off of Amazon, and you can get all kinds of colors. And the main thing is to put some drops of water in them and let them soak up the water a little bit, and then they'll get more intent. And so you can see I did a lot of the horse with just the gold. And then I came in with some of the other colors. I thought that turned out really, really, really pretty. And so I've just been having a fun, good day. And I'm going to have to do a something fun with this book one of these days. So I'm just enjoying it. So I do have a color chart with my Dewent Inktense ink. And I just wrote everything down because how else are you going to see what colors? So I just did him all over with a pale olive green. I got some paint still on my finger. I was trying to put it back in my jar. But I did it a real pale. You can see how pale I did it. And then I came back in with I think probably the light green, because you can get a heavier coat on him. And then I just took, this is pencil, the orange, the peach, and I put some of it into his scales and around here. And this is pencil. No, that is watercolor too. So the rest of it is watercolor, except, you know, it's really hard to tell. I'm pretty sure this was pencil. It all kind of blends. I put just a teeny bit of diamond glitter on that one. And when I did this fish, we're going to do this one here on filming it. I just saved one. And this fish I did with the light, which color did I use? I got all these colors out here, but it's hard to tell. Maybe, no, it had to have been one of the, and I thought mallard was the darker. Mallard, I bet you mustard is what I'm thinking. Okay, so I did do it with the mallard. I colored him in, and then I came back and darkened it with the darkest part of the mallard. And I used, actually, distressed ink. I put these dots on here first with my Moonlight gel pens, jelly roll pens. But I tell you what, I learned a lesson. These are not waterproof. They are not, they're not stable in any way. So this would be the last thing that you would ever put on is your jelly rolls, which I didn't know. Probably you do, but I didn't. And so I had trouble with them smearing. So I have a few spots that aren't real clear because I was trying to put down this rosy Victorian rose top and bottom, and then a color in the middle, and then a light color, like a rainbow trout kind of thing. But it just smeared, and then it's really hard to go back over this, which I probably will again now that it's drier, and try to clean them up a little bit. But I thought he turned out cute, even with my mistakes. And I put just a little bit of diamond glitter on him too, to make the 2 pages just look very pretty when you open them up. That's always my goal, is when I open up my book to a page that it just kind of somehow comes together in something that I am pleased to look at, you know. And so now we are going to do this little guy, and he's got lots of little stuff on him, and I thought it would be fun to show you what I've been doing, and then if you happen to watch this video, you will see that. If not, you're not going to see them until I reveal the book. So I'm thinking, I'm looking at the colors and trying to see what would be a fish color, but would also blend together. I was really thinking of a lavender, or we could go blue and pick up the color in the wings of the dragonflies and bring the blue over here. And then, okay, you talked me into it. I think the iris blue, let me find it. I may have it out and I may not. So let's see. I do not have these organized yet at all. So I'm looking for, and here it is, right here, right here. And I'm looking to see what other color would might, how about this lagoon? That's kind of a really pretty color. Let's see, here it is. Okay. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on him with these two colors. So we're using the iris blue. Where it is, right there. Okay, it's right next, I got it next to each other, and the lagoon. So that ought to make a pretty picture. So I keep water in my little jar, that if it spills, it's not going to, water isn't going to go anywhere. And I always use a lid, and I need to find something that I don't have to keep taking the lid off of my little container, which still works fine because you can just wipe it out. So I'm just going to put a few drops of water, because the less water you use, the better, I'm telling you, the better it is. And so let's start with because I definitely want to do these dots different. So let's start with the blue, and I'm going to color it. And if you were starting at the top, you would kind of want more color at the top. And this goes a long way. So let's see how far this will go. And I'm going to use, it's an extra fine water brush, and this is a very nice water brush. The thing is they do hold a lot of water. So it's better than for me, than the water brushes, because I'm not having to worry so much about it just dropping water. So we're just going to start activating this blue. Like that. And you can see that it puckers a little, but this paper is very nice about laying back down. So I do want it, when your brush stops painting, you're out of water. But I want this bottom part much lighter, and I'm just picking up a drop. I don't know if you could see. Yeah, you could see that. Okay, I just picked up a drop. So for a while, you can manipulate this. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. And let it fade down. You can pick up some color from up there. You can actually move it down here. And just like our pencils, you should roll your brushes. Okay? So let's do this one. And I could move to a little bit bigger brush on these. So I'm just trying to get plenty at the top. Now once these start to dry a little bit, you can come back in and deepen the color over and over again. Okay? And so let's see if I got a little bit different. I have a silver black velvet that has more. So let's get that wet. And I'm going to just touch it, because this carries a lot of water and you don't have to worry about it falling down and making a big blop on your paper. But we want to activate all of this really good. And again, when your brush stops, so I don't know if you saw that, but it was just like a Q-tip. It just goes, sucks that water right up. So all of my water brushes that I bought, they'd be great if you're traveling or you want to go to the park or something like that. But for me, I can take some of this off and add a little bit more to over here if I want to. Just like that. But I want to leave some of that open. I'm just going to do the same over here. Okay. Now you can do the same thing with your watercolor pencils. And I have a ton of watercolor pencils. And until I started coloring, I really had no clue why I wanted them. I wanted to use them, but I just didn't really know what I would do, how I would use them, or what I would do with them. But this is teaching me a lot of things, and more than just coloring a book. This is really teaching me some maybe patience. And I know I color fast. I do everything fast. I might be putting out a lot of videos, but I do things faster than most people. I don't know why. I remember when I was a little girl, we didn't have a lot of money, and everybody was crocheting and stuff. And my mom bought me a little ball of yellow yarn, the prettiest color yellow too. It wasn't just yellow, it was a pretty color yellow. And I was actually knitting. And every time I'd get so far, she'd pull it all apart and say, oh, you made a mistake. Let's pull it back to where. And that poor little yellow ball got brown. But you learn. And patience. And you can take that color off. You can lift it out. Now, if you leave them too long, you won't be able to do this. So there's just a few things. If anybody's looking for a light that will give them lots of light, I found one. I have a glass shelf above my desk here. But there's always ways of doing it. I found one from Craft. The men's tools, crafts. And that little thing is so bright. When I turn it on and off, and it was $16 on Amazon. Let me turn it off. I'll show you. It just gives a whole other brightness to see by. And it's night here. It's evening, dark. And I'm sitting at my desk with only these little lights. Okay. I'm going to put that one on that side so I do not mix it up. And now we're going to go into our lagoon. And I'm just going to make little dots. Here, there, and everywhere. And the little tiny dots you can just pull some color from one of the bigger ones. Okay, let's start with this. I'm just washing my brush out just a little bit. And now I just want to activate this like right here. Like that. I'm just trying to keep a little dark spot and then just a little bit of color around it. And it's going to be harder on these unless you have a good point. That's what I like about the watercolor brushes, is you can get a good point. And these two brushes that I'm using are good brushes. I'm just moving my hand back so you can see a little better. And then we can come back in here and we can darken our spots. But we're just blending it together, just like you would a pencil, to get that light gradients going. And then you can always clean your brush. I think we're about to run out of water. And you can pick up some of this color. But you can see how teeny a bit of water. And I roll my brush because it puts that tip on the end. So even if you're just using an eyeliner, see that little tiny one there? I'm just going to add just a little water there. Just pull some of that color down. Let that up there soak in. I worked a long time on my fish up that first one. It was just a little disappointed in this one because of the smearing. So it didn't turn out quite the way I wanted to, but we learn. He's still pretty. You probably haven't told you what book we're in. We're in our Daydream book again by Hanna. Okay. Main thing is just patience. Be at peace. You don't have these, use your watercolor pencils. I have these, so I'm going to use them. I didn't know what I did or didn't need. So I spent a fortune right off the bat. And you don't think about people that's been in here for years. I'm still crazy thinking about that lady with 10,000 pencils. Makes you not feel so bad. I'm sorry. I just, like, wow. Now I've seen some videos where they didn't wet this at all, and I've used watercolors and not wet them at all. Matter of fact, I started using them in my Bible to highlight things. I was like, well, I don't know what to do with these things. It just seemed like, why would you, when you've got watercolors, why would you want the pencils afterwards? I don't know. You just, so this has opened my horizon of choices. I love coloring with the pencils. But this has been a little fun weekend with the watercolors and the Dewent pencils. It's just so peaceful. I just relax. It's looking kind of pretty, huh? I'm getting very intense. I'm getting too relaxed. I'm not talking. Oh, we almost got it. All right, I think I'm going to make his underbelly. This is a graphite tint by Dewent, and it's meadow, like grassy meadow, number 10. I'm going to do his underbelly. And this. Okay. And try to keep the activated dark part down here. I used the other green I have here for the one up above. I just thought these fish were kind of fun to do. Especially with these, because this paper took it so well. You don't want to scrub on this paper, that's for sure, because you will reap the benefits of that. If you do something that you need to fix, you got to let this dry. And go, I don't know what, but don't try to fix it while it's, if you can fix it quickly without doing too much to it, but the paper will start peeling quickly. Now you can take your pencil and just on the tip put more color on it, and you can intensify your color. You can paint your home picture by just doing this. you can also take a piece of plastic and color on it, and then you can come in with that little bit of color, it's right there, and activate it, pick up all the little crumbs, and you can color just like that. So I'm just okay. That works well, huh? Now, I think we're going to take our lagoon again, and I'm going to start like I did up there. I just darkened these little things. You're just trying to get the color on. You're not trying to make anything perfect at this point. It's just to try. So you're just going to activate that color. And I did get a little too much water in here, so it's easy to see how easy your brush picks it up, especially a watercolor brush. And you can pick them up at any place who carries brushes. Get you a small size and a larger size. I wouldn't get a great big one. I wouldn't get much more than a 4 or 5, so that you're just working on your color book. I have some really big ones, but that's for big pictures. I'm just putting the water in here, and then I'm just taking it back out. And I can already tell I have too much water in that brush. Can't see the water. Hope this is making sense, because I'm just trying to keep the water As long as you get it right away, you can see how much time it's in between. I'm just taking my point and activating that. Then letting it come over here. And if you get any dark spots, just keep working it a little bit with your brush. And it will work its way back out. And you can see how easy it is to take your color and just move it around. So let's get that in there. Didn't that turn out pretty? This is probably going to be whiter. We'll make it look like we were intending on it. How about that? Like that. But let's take our lagoon. Let's put some over here. This just goes a long ways, which is kind of nice. One thing about it, if you mix it over here, you are activating it. If you get it all. So I'm just trying to put a little tiny bit of dark on one side. Sometimes you got to get some of that paint out of your brush in order to leave that highlight. So that's one good thing about this. You can fix your and you can even take a Kleenex, put some water and work on it and make a little like that. Okay, I think we're going to leave it. I think it looks fine right now. So, I don't know what I'm going to do in the background. I don't know yet. I may do the green, which is going to take a little time. Let's see. It's probably just what we'll do. Let's put the green back there. And think we're going to make his face green too. And we'll kind of bring it all together. Just keeping it pale. Just kind of dropping the green right around everything. Means I have a little extra water in my brush in order to do that, but not too much. We don't want to run colors together. It's just making little petals. But the dots should be dry enough. That we don't run it together. But not petals like you're just doing enough where you can move it. I don't know if you can see it that close or not. So as I drop it, then I can move it around a little easier. And if I'm trying to almost dry brush it, and the paper's going to absorb it pretty quickly. This isn't watercolor paper, so. And nothing has gone through the other side as of yet. But I'm trying to be very careful not to over wet it or overwork it. This should make it a little bit darker and lighter in spots. A little bit. That's kind of what we want. Just keep moving those little things around. They're like little tiny puddles, and you just keep moving them. Your brush will suck them up. And you can come back in and darken any place you want. I think it should be a little darker at the top, and then it can be lightening up in the middle. I don't know if you're getting the bug now wanting to do this. That's what happens to me. I was like, okay, I got to try that. And even with your watercolor pencils, you can do the same thing with a piece of plastic. And just scribble on it and wet it and paint. I think we're going to leave it like that. And I'm going to sharpen this a little bit. My lagoon. I'm going to put some in here and here. Then we'll just take some of our water. One thing about watercolors, sometimes the dirtier water is, the dirtier pan is, the prettier colors come out. But if you want your color to be pure, of course you want clean water, a clean pan. Oops, there went my brush. No, it was my pencil. Yikes. All right, so now we're going to, I think we're going to work on these. And what I want to do is like that. This is an experiment. And bring some of the blue like that. So now, let me get a drink. I need to wet my whistle. You would think these fish wouldn't take long at all, but watercoloring takes a whole lot more time than coloring with your pencils. I don't know how this is going to work, but we're trying it. May have put too much color down. And we're going to take some of it back off. We can always add more if we want to. Now we're going to take our blue, and I got way too much water on that brush. I need to take some of it back off. And you can see some, that purple is definitely more staining than the blue. Try. It's getting too wet. Trying to get them to merge. Okay, that's as good as I can do. So what do we got? Lagoon. Yeah, that's what we want. So I don't need as much. I've learned my lesson. It's a small area. Let's see if we can't. We're just giving it a shot again. Okay. Did you see how that happened? Now this is what I was trying to get to do over there, but it was getting too wet. Okay, that's what it's supposed to look like over there. Well, that has to dry before I even touch it again. And then I can touch it up just a little bit, but that's what I wanted. So let's give it a shot here. No, this is the dominant heavy-handed one. So we're just going to come up here with the blue. Let's see if we can do that again. So we just activated it and brought it down. Very pretty. Much more what I had in mind. Okay. I always like to sit back and look at it. I'm very happy with that. Very. All right, so let's finish up these two. Now these little fish, you can do as much you want to or little. You can add some pencil in there, add a little color in there, however it makes you happy. I think I worked for an hour and a half on that fish up there. Just adding more, just enjoying. All right, let's do his little tail. Is this drying up? Once it dries, then you can do something with it, but don't do anything until it dries. And as you know, it doesn't matter what way you color this on. I think he's turning out to be a very unique fish. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Just trying to keep all the lines out of it. Wow, I like him. And he's definitely different than the rest of them. And I like him. So, let's see. He doesn't need any I need kind of a brown. And I don't know why I do this, but I always do it. I think that's a little too dark. So I'll take a little Gimsel and see what it'll do. If not, we'll just say I meant to do this. Okay, well, that wasn't great. So let's see. I thought I could. Let's put a little bit of this in here where I left it light. That's not a good color. Let's try something different. I need something, not anything crazy, but let's try this one. I'm just trying to blend it a little bit more. And I do like that color with his head. So we're just gonna fill it in. I like it. Kind of matches his belly. Okay. It does make your paper sound weird. You can see it did not go through. I'm just trying to even it out a little bit. But they all worked very well together. I'm very, very pleased. So we got to do his eye. Like that. And I'm not going to add anything as a background because I truly think this is just absolutely beautiful on its own. I love it. Looking for a little clip. Now let me show you. What do you think? Isn't that pretty? Isn't that a pretty page? When you're looking through your color book and you see this, you come to this. I just think it's just beautiful. I hope you do too. Hope you'll leave me a message and tell me what you think. Nobody's leaving me many messages anymore. But maybe you're all very busy, and that's okay. I just thank you all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And remember, tell somebody today that you love them, that they're important in your life. You never know what tomorrow brings. So thank you. I love you all for watching me and following me. And I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you're trying some of these. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. But I'd really be interested in what you have to say. Goodbye.